Thank you so much, dear Donika. Allow me to start by excusing myself to your protocol. Because since I arrived, I wanted to leave my room earlier than it was scheduled, because I wanted to try the burek in the main street. And so when I arrived, I had a medja and a memesh. So for the one who doesn't know from Luxembourg, the one is with meat, the other is with cheese. And I was able to exchange also with people from Kosovo and to make pictures. Because as you just said, and you are in charge of the diaspora, in my former job as minister, as prime minister, one of my security officer was from Kosovo. And he's so jealous that I'm here today that he really wanted to come. So I sent him a picture of my medja and my memesh and of everything I saw. And when we speak about diaspora and coming from the region, my spokesperson, he's from Montenegro. Just to tell you that Luxembourg success, it is because we know that we are different, that we have different histories, that we have different roots, that we have different religions, that we have different traditions, but that together we are strong. And I can tell you, if it's David, or if it's Gentian Bekteshi, he's my Kosovar, that sounds very local, I heard, that Bektian, they still, even if they grew up in Luxembourg, they still don't forget where they come from. They don't forget the history of their country, and they still support their country. So even if they are Luxembourger, they say, we are Luxembourger, and from other, sometimes they even say, we are from Kosovo, but also Luxembourgish, or we are from Montenegro and also from Luxembourg. So as you said, I came as a friend. It's not the first time I come to Pristina. I was in Pristina as a prime minister, last time also with my colleague Mark Rutte, Prime Minister of Holland, and we wanted to give also the impulse to show the support from European countries to Kosovo. Usually, when you are successful, you have a lot of friends, a lot. For us, it is important also to show that you can choose your neighbors, but we can build together the future. We can't change the past. The past is done, it's in our history books. But the future, we can do it together. And we want, as friendly countries, as partner countries, as countries having a trust relations, having you also the right to live in peace, to live without being in fear, and also to have a future where I belong to a generation. I belong to a generation. I never had a war. I never had a war. And a lot of you young people don't know what is war, the very young one. But we should not forget our parents, our grandparents. They lived a war situation. And we need to avoid and do everything to avoid the conflicts. And as you know, I'm here today. I speak also to all the other countries. And if we can be useful, we have to do everything to avoid a bad situation. Because we are politicians. But the first people who suffer on the ground are the civilians. And so it's our duty also to do it. And we believe, and we had these discussions also, that is the reason why your country and the region has to have this European perspective, but not in 200 years. Not in 200 years. But together to see how we can come deeper. My country, when in 1957 we created the European Union with the Treaty of Rome. Believe me, if we would have asked the population if they agree that Germany and France would sit together at the table, in a referendum the answer would have been no. Because there was the tensions from the Second World War where they were enemies just before. And through these economic relations, through this iron and steel union we did also before, we had common goals where we were able also to move on, to have common successes. And we believe that it's useful also to give this perspective here. We share a continent. We share values with you. That's the reason why I'm here. Because we share values together. And I will meet your president, I will meet also your prime minister, the speaker of the house, where together we had, for example, a project about electronic voting, to see how we can be partners, how we can do things better together. And I believe really in it that it will be together that we will be able to to build something with the next generations deserves. This region has suffered enough about decisions taken by others. And you know that I will have also the responsibility of the Ministers' Committee of the Council of Europe, and together we will be this platform where with you together, dear Donika, we will work on to give to Kosovo the place it deserves and the respect it deserves, and also the opportunity to have the success story it deserves. So thank you so much for the welcoming. Thank you so much for the time. And I didn't come for 2 or 3 hours. Because I know that a lot of people come, they have pictures, interviews, and they leave. I'm going to visit projects that we did together. With 35 million euros, Luxembourg wants to not to expense, but to invest in people here in Kosovo. And these projects are not hospitals and education like we always have. But this is this time also economic. About, for example, the creativity, about the IT sector. Because it's important also for your economic situations that it's not a perfusion that we give, you know, like every 6 months or every year, a perfusion. But it's a trampoline to jump also higher. So I'm very proud as Minister of Foreign Affairs, of Foreign Trade, but also of development, and also bigger region, but I have no ambitions to speak about here, to have really projects where we will work together to also give opportunities to young people. We had long discussions, for example, about the diaspora. And this is something we know also. And it is important that we give to young people also the opportunities to see that this is the place to stay. This is the place to get born, this is the place to grow, but this is also the place to stay. And this will be, I hope, also through the projects that we will support. So, Falum Dere, no, something like that? You know what I mean, but I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Kemi dy pyetje për It's okay. A kemi pyetje për media?
Thank you. I'm Shkelzan Lokna from RTV 21. I have a question for Mr. Bettel. The government of Kosovo has rejected the status of the association proposed by the Europeans. How do you comment on this? What is your comment for that question?
I think, as I told you before, we have the criteria, and I know that they didn't start from just yesterday. It's a long progress, and they've been very active the last years because we have what we call the Copenhagen criteria. We have a lot of different criteria, and the government of Kosovo is doing a lot of work. You know, it's. I have to admit, to be member of the European Union is not a sprint, it's a marathon, because it's a long way to go, And I just can tell you that under Donika's leadership, also as Minister of Foreign Affairs, this country has made a lot of progresses in the direction who makes it closer and closer to the European Union. The first thing I want to say, and I don't want to be misunderstood, a visit to Kosovo doesn't mean a visit against Serbia. A visit to Belgrade doesn't mean a visit against Kosovo. The first thing. Because we very often have this thing that if you go to one, it's because you have something against the other. No. If we want dialogue, if we want solutions, we need to have contacts with both. First thing. The fact is that I've been once to Serbia, I've been twice to Kosovo now. So I'm sure that I will get, they will ask me to come back. But the fact is just, it's not one against the other. The situation was that during a moment, some conditions were not fulfilled. You know that Pepe Borrell did a proposal to come back with the support from the EU, and I'm sure we will find a solution soon. But when at one moment it goes in a bad direction, I'm very honest to tell, from the point of view of the one who had to do the analyze, the only way it's then to stop. And then sometimes it goes faster to stop than to start again. But I'm here to show you that we trust. I wouldn't sign an agreement here if everything would go wrong. Because it's not my money. It's my taxpayers' money. It's not my money. People trust me when they pay, I hope, when I get their money. And when I say that it's important for us to invest down here, it's because we believe and we trust you. And I know that European Union will also come back. It's a question of time, but for the moment there were situations, as I told you, that made it difficult to support it the last months. But the last proposal from Borrell was to come back.